Shalom Akim. We'll be starting here shortly. Just got to make sure the volume's right. We'll be starting here shortly. Just got to make sure the volume's right. All right, we sounding good. Let me turn off my Wi-Fi. I get the lagging and stuff. Hey, but Shalom Akim. First, I'm going to start by giving all praises, honors, and glories to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Chakwadash. I want to give double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who taught us this 100% truth according to the spirits of be Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Peace and blessing to you, hopeful elect out there pushing this word through the four corners of the earth in sincerity. So y'all say Shalom. It's your brother Awarga in the GMS Dallas branch. And to the prime spirit of Yahweh, Bahashem, Shai, we're going to be going into the spirituality of Riddick. Now, if y'all know what the movie Riddick, the main actor, if y'all know Vin Diesel, he plays a character named Riddick, and he comes from a race of people called the Furians because they was dwelt on this planet called Furia. And we're going to go into the spirituality of Riddick because I was watching Riddick last night. I was watching the first Riddick, which is called Pitch Black, which is spiritual too. Just Riddick, Riddick's how he is very relative towards the Israelites. You know what I'm saying? And then when you watch the Chronicles of Riddick, which I was starting off watching a little bit of it, but I was noticing so much stuff, it prompted me to go dig deeper and to find some stuff. So just to give you a little rundown, you know what I'm saying, on the character Riddick, we finna, what is it called? I'm finna pull up this thing, this little, I guess you could say, a little more information about this guy Riddick. So, let me see. I'm gonna pull this up. Also, just to give you a, you know what I'm saying, because his name is Richard B. Riddick, and you're gonna see a picture of him right here. You brothers done seen the movie Riddick, you know what I'm saying, and he has he's able to see. It's really highly spiritual. The fact that he has the light, you know what I'm saying, because his eyes allow him to be able to see in the dark. And us being in Babylon the Great, we had the Harakakwadah, the spirit of Yahweh Bahashem Shai, which is a light unto us, where we're able to navigate through this darkness that is going on here. But pretty much when you go into Riddick, it says the Furians, which these are pretty much the Israelites. But it says the Furians are a distinct deviation of the humans who develop impressive physical abilities due to their adaptation to Furia, which is a planet that they dwelt there, which is going to go into a harsh planet, not believed by many to be either dead or cursed, making Furians an endangered species. Furians are mentioned as one of the four elder races. You know what I'm saying? So the Furians, they dwelt on the planet, and that planet had harsh conditions. So therefore, they are like the top physical and mentally advanced type of human. You know what I'm saying? And that's what is that? The Israelites. We're the top nation upon the planet Earth. And I'd actually pull that. Let me get it right quick. I'll actually pull that because Furians are pretty much the top nation on Earth. You know what I'm saying? Or I guess you could say the top human in the universe. Which we are the top human in the universe, but we referring to Earth. But let me go into it. Let's get Deuteronomy 6, 7, Deuteronomy 7 and 6. Because when you read up, right, it says, when the Lord thy power shall bring thee into the land where thou goest to possess it. This is Deuteronomy 7 and 1. And cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites, the Gizrites, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou. This is referring to the Israelites. Because the Israelites in the time of Moses, in the book of Exodus, chiefly the time of Joshua, which, he came after that second generation to come out of the wilderness, you know what I'm saying, that was inheriting the promises, which is the land of Canaan, you know what I'm saying, that flow with milk and honey, those nations was already dwelling there. So this lets you know that it's talking about the Israelites. It's not talking about no other nation, because the Lord didn't do that for no other nation but the Israelites. And when you read down after Deuteronomy 7 and 6, it tells you, well, we're going to start at Deuteronomy 7 and 6. It says, for thou art an holy people. Now, if you go into that holy people, it means separate. And what sets us apart from the other nations? We have the wisdom, knowledge, understanding of Yahweh Bashim Shai. He gave unto us the keys, you know what I'm saying, on how to guide creation and how to serve him. He gave us the law, statute, commandments, the way to live, you know. But it's Deuteronomy 7 and 6 says, for thou art an holy people unto the Lord, thy power. The Lord thy power hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, peculiar, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. And if you could really pull this one right here. I want to pull this also. I want to pull this. Let me see. Just to back the point up even more, because that alone right there is good. Right? So I'll go back and read that. It says, for thou art an holy people unto the Lord, thy power, the Lord thy power hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth. And when you read, when we was reading the Pharians, it pretty much was saying how they've dwelt on the planet that they believed to be death or cursed. Saying that planet that those humans dwelt on had very harsh conditions. So that means that the humans that grew up there, compared to other humans, they are more physically, mentally advanced. You know what I'm saying? And which we are. You know, you're going back to Genesis, speaks about that. He'll make one nation greater than the other. But we're not just greater than the nation of Esau, Edom. The Edomites, we're greater than all the other 17 nations. We're greater than all of them. You know, the Lord has our genetic makeup greater than those other nations' makeup, physically, mentally, and the other nations not even spiritual. We're the only nation that's spiritual. You know what I'm saying? So that's like, that made me, you know, when I was reading the Pharians definition, going into it through the spirit, it made me think about that. Like, oh, so Riddick is pretty much Israelite. Riddick symbolizes the Israelites, and he simultaneously symbolizes Yahweh Shai in some sense. But I'm gonna get into that. But the Pharians, the race that came from Syria, the human race that came from Syria, they are pretty much Israelites, the most physically, mentally advanced humans upon the planet Earth. Well, in their sense, in their universe, but in this sense, on the Earth, we're the most advanced, right? And it's not due to the fact that, like, oh, it's because we that. It's because of Yahweh Bashim Shai. He's our power. That's why. And by him being our power, he made us better than the other nations and gave us his laws, his commandments. So let me get this second address. I want to get second address real quick. I hope I'm not lagging. I see the Wi-Fi symbol. Ooh, well, I ain't lagging too bad. I want to get this second address. I want to read this. Just more fire to the field. Second address 6 and 56. It says, and let me actually go back a verse. It says, as all this I have spoken before thee, O Lord. Let me go back another verse. Okay, this is Ezra. Ezra is the Israelite. It says, and after these Adam, second Ezra 6 and 54, and after these Adam, also whom thou hast made of Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all, and the people also whom thou hast chosen. Exactly, because through Adam, you had Noah, and then you had Shem, Japheth, and Ham, and the nations come from Shem, Japheth, and Ham, and you have Lot and his daughters, they've bared Moab and Ammon. You know what I'm saying? And other, you know what I'm saying? But like they all, but Lot come through the loins of Abraham, which Abraham came from Shem. You know what I'm saying? Abraham came from Shem. So it all stems back to Adam, though. So you know what I'm saying? All the nations have came from Adam, even the ones that the Lord had chosen. And he chosen a specific lineage through the Adamites on down to Shem, on down to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You know what I'm saying? So we get the next verse. It says, all that I have spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes. Exactly. Everything we see today, creation, all the creation was made for the Israelites. It was made for us. We were supposed to be the ones guiding creation, right? It says, as for the other people which also come of Adam, so you have other nations that came from Adam, but they wasn't that chosen lineage that came from Adam. To say, as for the other people which also come of Adam, and Adam also means comes from the ground too, so you could throw that in there. You know what I'm saying? Because people, our bodies come from the ground. But speaking about the lineages, as for the other people which also come of Adam, the ones that are not of the lineage of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, thou hast said that they are nothing, right? They're nothing, but like unto spittle, and has likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel. So the other nations are irrelevant. You know what I'm saying? In the eyes of the Lord. In the eyes of the Lord, the nation of Israel, in the eyes of the Lord, the nation of Israel is the only nation that the Lord cares about. And it shows by how he created us and fashioned us with the understanding and being able to know the mind of the Lord. You know what I'm saying? To know the understanding on how to guide creation. That lets you know that who are the rightful rulers, the Israelites. That's why you got in Isaiah 2, it speaks about how the nation is going to come to us and say, let's go down to the mountain of the Lord and learn, you know what I'm saying? Learn their ways. Why? Because we the rightful rulers. We are the top nation of people. Now, right now, it don't look like it, specifically 2/3, especially how they're maneuvering. But when the Lord brings us in the kingdom, when he kills off the 2/3 and bring them through the loins of the elect, first starting off being able to be done through Yahweh Shai, then it's going to be shown how we are the top nation upon the earth, right? Now, let me go back to that. Now, let's go back to the Pharaohs. Now that we got that established, that the Pharaohs are pretty much symbolic for the Israelites. Okay, so then just gives you a little bit more history on the Pharaohs. We could read a little bit. And actually, I was looking at something else. Let me see. I had seen something else in here. And if not, that'll probably just be it. Let me see. Cause okay, now it's just going into how the Pharaohs are physically advanced, more advanced. They're not necessarily superhumans, but they're just physically advanced due to the harsh conditions they dwelt on the planet they dwelt on, and it pretty much saying that their genetic makeup is just far more superior than other nations, right? So when you watch the movie The Chronicles, right, The Chronicles of Riddick, there's a nation on there known as the Necromongers, right? They're known as the Necromongers, right? They're known as the Necromongers. Now, when you go into, because I want to pull up a picture of them, and really we could just probably just click on this thing right here, not the Empire. Is a nation of people known as the They're called Necromongers, right? Now, when you go into the Necromonger, I want to pull it up for you because the leader of the Necromongers are Lord Marshall. His name is Lord Marshall, and I'm watching a movie, and they look just like it reminds me of Greco-Roman look. They look like they give me Greco-Roman vibes, right? So when you go into that word necro, and we really don't got to pull it up. We ain't got to pull it up. which I just said, or for education, I just show it because necro pretty much means death or corpse, right? Now monger, which we could see, we could share out, look at it. Monger means denoting a dealer or trader in a specific community or a person who promotes a a specified activity, situation, feeling, especially one that is undesirable or discreditable. You know what I'm saying? So a person who promotes a specific activity. Now, when you go into necromonger, it's pretty much a person that pretty much promotes activity of death, and that's nobody else than Esau. So that's how you like in the movie The Chronicles of Riddick. That's pretty much showing Jacob and Esau. Oh snap! 144 call on y'all, but it shows Jacob and Esau. You know what I'm saying? Because you have the king. They look like Greco Romans anyway. Let me pull up a picture right here. I just pull up a picture right here. If you look at the necromongers and the Riddick, right? You look at them, they look like Greco Romans, man. Greco Roman. Look at that. They got the little flash things that's under their mask. It's like Greco Roman type of look, you know. Then the king, which is we're looking at right here, this is Lord Marshall. Right here, I'll click on a better one. This is Lord Marshall right here, and he got the tribunal mask on. The tribunal mask, and it made me think of. Let me pull it up. It made me think of this character in Marvel called the Living Tribunal. He got the same thing, the heads, the little multiple heads, and pretty much the tribunal. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much a person who issue out judge or order, pretty much. So the person that issues out the judge or the order, and that's what the head, the lord of the necromongers, the nation, on a movie that promotes death. You know what I'm saying? It promotes death, because that means necro, death, monger, to promote something. You know what I'm saying? Activity to promote death. They have the mask on, and pretty much the Lord has the mask on, representing that he's the judge and he's the moral forefront of how things supposed to be. And then when you think about it, if you watch the movie, they pretty much trying to establish a one world order or a new world order, because they're trying to. I'm gonna pull the scriptures. That's how you know it's Esau. Because what they're doing is they're going and conquering other lands, other human races, and saying either join me or die. And what does that sound like? Esau. He's trying to heap onto them all nations, man. One order. And what you know what they do? They either turn over to a necromonger or they stay and they die. They stay as the other human race and die. Or you take on the religions or the image of the beast, you take on the philosophies, you take on the teachings of Esau, you take on the way of life that they say is supposed to be of this specific nation in the movie, which is representation of Esau. Now what you see going on now, Esau is putting out these philosophies and these teachings and all that, and you take on, you got to take on that, and it's going to really be shown when he implements that MOTB. It's going to be shown, are you down with Esau or not? If you're not, you're going to be killed, which you're going to be casted out from society, and some will be actually killed, but it's the necromongers. Now, when you go into the king, right, the law, which is Lord Marshall, it was a prophecy, right? It was a prophecy, and I really got it right here. I'll just read it to y'all. We gonna get it, because I'm gonna pull the scriptures how he's that's representation of Esau. And actually, I'll read one right now. I will read one right now. I'll paraphrase it. I'll read one right now. Let me see. Where is it at? Read one right now. This is Habakkuk 2. And we'll just get to the point. start of verse 4, it says, behold, his soul which is lifted up in him is not upright in him, but the just shall live by faith. Exactly, the just going to be living by faith, man. But it says, yea, also, because he transgresseth by wine, you know what I'm saying, his teachings, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desire as hell and is as death. We just went into the race that is pretty much the I think it's the antagonist of the movie, because the protagonist is the good guy. If I'm not mistaken. Let me fact check that right quick. I don't want to be sitting there saying it's wrong. The antagonist. Yeah. So yeah, the protagonist of the movie is Riddick, which he's an Israelite. He's from the planet. He's from the thing. What is it? What is it? He's from the what race was that? I said. Well, pretty much he's an Israelite. Riddick is an Israelite, and there's a nation going around conquering people, turning them over to their philosophy, to their teaching. It's pretty much Hellenizing everybody. And if you don't know what Hellenizing means, it pretty much means for somebody that practices the Greek customs, but is not a Greek. That's what they're doing. It was Hellenizing the nations coming, and that's what you see now. Esau is, he pretty much has Babylonianized or Americanized these other nations, where they've pretty much learn the teachings and the ways of Esau, and they follow after him. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, Job 9:24, the earth is given to the hands of the wicked. We see that being played out today. And the name of that nation is called necromongers, which means necro, death, of course, monger, teach, to teach or to promote a certain activity. They promote death. They promote death, man. They're promoting death. And it says, yea, also because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man. Yeah, he is, because in the scriptures, in the movie, they called him, they said he's not a man. I think they called him a god, if I'm not mistaken. But it says, neither keepeth at home, and that's spiritual too. Because what does it speak about Obadiah? We'll pull that. Let me pull that real quick. I want to pull the Obadiah real quick, man. Let me pull that right quick. Let me pull the Obadiah. Let me see. Let me look it up right quick. My bad. BLB. I really need to get down how to operate this thing. I don't know if it's the iPad or what. Dang. Let me see, because it's acting funny. I know I ain't spelling it that wrong. So I'm spelling Obadiah wrong. Spelling that wrong. There we go. Now let me transfer it over. Obadiah, because they called him a god in the movie. The movie, they referred to him as a god, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Obadiah 1 and 3, it says, the pride of thine heart. Well, actually, you could just start with read 1. It said, the vision of Obadiah. The vision of Obadiah, thus said the Lord, Yahweh Bashim, that power concerning Edom, Esau, the so-called white man. We have heard a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. You know what I'm saying? So this is a vision that Obadiah had about Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. And this is how you know that In the movie, the Chronicles of Riddick is representation of Esau and Jacob. Riddick being Jacob, the Israelites, coming from a harsh condition of planet being superior or being the apex nation to the other nations. You know what I'm saying? Being superior to other nations. Do you have the necromongers, which is ran by a dude named Lord Marshall, which that's representation of the Edomites. And really, you look at Van Diesel, he looks like it's like anyways. You know what I'm saying? I believe he's a J. You know, but what is it called? You have the necromongers, which is in representation of Esau, and you could tell by how they operate. First, they're trying to establish a one world order where they're heaping up onto all nations. You know what I'm saying? Hellenizing them, Americanizing them, follow after their ways, their beliefs, their religion. They got one religion that they want everybody to follow by. That's what's happening now. You know what I'm saying? That's what's happening now. And we're going to read that Habakkuk, but I wanted to get this because they called him a god. That's representation of Esau. But it says, you're going to jump to verse 3. It says, the pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, that thou dwellest in the cliffs of the rocks, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? It's mine to the Esau. His habitation is high. Why? Because the Lord has set him up right there. Sirach 10 speaks about the prosperity of kings in the hands of the Lord. So if a king is ruling and prospering, you know what I'm saying, or ruling, and Lord speaks about how the Lord set it down one and set up another king. So Esau's only ruling due to the fact that Yahweh Shai has set him up right there for a specific reason. And it's fulfilling prophecy. It says, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, then shall I bring thee down, the Lord. Bring thee down, saith the Lord. Exactly. This is not the one I get, but Will Port is good because he's exalting himself. He exalts himself as the eagle. What is the eagle? The highest flying bird. The eagle is the highest flying bird, man. That's what the eagle is, the highest flying bird. So he's saying that he is the highest. He's exalting himself as the highest. You know what I'm saying? Now, actually, I want to pull this one. I know it's a second Thessalonians, but I don't know this exactly. But I want to stay right here. It says, I know it's the second Thessalonians. I ain't know exactly what verse, chapter. Second Thessalonians 24. That's what I want. It says, who opposes? Well, let's start at verse 3. It says, let no man deceive you by any means, for there shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that the man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. And that what happened. First, we fell away from it with not the understanding of the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? First, that happened. You know, we discontinued from our heritage, but now we've been drawing back onto our heritage. And it's kind of funny because they show representation of that in the movie. Because Riddick, he don't even know like what race he is. He don't know where he come from. He don't know. Riddick don't know what race he comes from. But he's representation of the Israelite in the movie. Because I had it pulled up. I know it's over here somewhere. I had it pulled up. What the race called? The Pharians. Yeah, the Pharians. Yeah, he doesn't know where he comes from, the Pharians, or he doesn't know that he's an Israelite. He doesn't know that he's an Israelite. Riddick doesn't know he doesn't know he's Israelite, so discontinue from his heritage. He doesn't know he's an Israelite in the movie, or in that case in the movie, a Pharian. You know what I'm saying? But it says, verse 4, in the son of perdition, the son of destruction is Esau, the so-called white man. Because wherever he set his foot, man, this is going to be destruction and death. And as the dudes are called in the movie, necromongers, death promoters, pretty much. But it says who opposeth opposition and exalted himself above all that is called God, Yahweh Shai, or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing that he is God. And they refer to the dude the antagonist, Lord Marshall, they referred to him as God. And he's a ruler, and he's pretty much going around conquering pretty much. He's trying to conquer the nations, and he brought the nations unto him. Follow my religion. Follow my religion. And it's really a representation of pretty much an artificial. He's trying to get his birthright back, because that's Jacob. Now Esau's going to have for a portion of time, where he's going to have the nations his rejection, but he's trying to get it everlasting. But Yahweh Shai is going to be the one that's going to conquer all nations, man. And they're going to come unto us, learning our teachings. We're bringing the real one world order pretty much. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be a righteous rulership. They're going to follow our teachings, and that's going to bring forth life. Because necromongers out here, Esau, Edom, they're bringing forth death. Henceforth the name necromonger, death promoter pretty much. And that's what he was trying to do. So now we could jump back to the Habakkuk. Is that where I was in? Or was I in the second address? No, I was in Habakkuk. Habakkuk. Because right now we just established how I think I'll be forgetting the name of the race. The Phrygians, how they had a representation of the Israelites, and now we're showing how the necromongers in the movie are representation of Esau, the so-called white man, and relating it to the scriptures, because they doing exactly what these scriptures are saying, man. And showing how cold the Lord is, man. The Lord really had Esau make a movie showing his plans and showing him losing. Because if you watch the whole movie, at the end, we know Riddick is the protagonist. So he eventually kills Lord Marshall and becomes the new ruler, the new king. And now they're going to follow after his ways. That's why I said simultaneously he represents Yahweh Shai. But let me read this. Habakkuk 2. And 5, it says, he also, because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. And this is how you know it's talking about Esau, because you read a little bit more. Shall not all these take up a proverb against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increases that which is not his? How long to him that ladeth himself with thick clay? And thick clay is debt. And Babylon the Great is in debt, man. They're in debt. They've laden themselves in thick clay, which is debt. Debt. But in the movie, I ain't finished the full movie, so I'm not gonna say it's not in the movie. They in debt, but it don't seem like that's part of it. It does not seem like it's in the movie from what I've seen so far. Just for what I've seen so far. But you see, the necromongers completely fulfill that right there. Proud, desire as hell, and is as death. Their name is necromongers. They believe their religion, if I'm not mistaken, if you read upon their religion, they believe that everybody must die and go to like the underverse, some stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So they pushing for death. You know what I'm saying? Revelation 6 speaks about that. They ready to take peace from earth. How is it taking peace from earth? You know what I'm saying? We'll pull that. How is it taking peace from earth? Because they believe that their religion is the way, but it's not the way. It's not the way. They believe their religion is the way, but it's not the way. They're taking forth peace from the earth. This is Isaiah 24 and 4. 5. As you get to the point, the earth is defiled, and defiled goes into meaning profane. You know what I'm saying? Abominable. The earth is defiled and under the inhabitants thereof, and we see it being done under the inhabitants of Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. You know what I'm saying? And necromonger is just relating it back to the movie and how the spiritual aspect of the movie that I've noticed watching it, relating to the necromongers. You over here promoting death. You know what I'm saying? It says the earth also defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws and changed the orders, because they broke the everlasting covenant. And if you read a little bit description on the necromongers, And as a matter of fact, we'll read it. Let's go to it. It won't hurt. Because they believe that they got the answers. I got the keys. If you know that song, inside joke, but they believe that they got the answers to society and the problems. Says the necromongers believe that each verse has its own god. So they believe in multiple gods. You see that being played out? That's how you know the necromongers are Esau, because you see that being played out now. Idol worship here, man. Jupiter, Jupiter, Mars, Venus, Nada. If I'm not mistaken, those are Greek gods. No, those are Roman gods. And you got Greek gods, Zeus and all that. You know what I'm saying? Even how certain stuff are being played out here as representation of a different god. The necromongers. That's death. And it's their beliefs. And they want everybody to believe that same thing. They want everybody to come under that same vibration. But they got stopped by Riddick. Riddick stopped the plan. Said the necromongers believe that each verse has its own god, that life is an antagonist to the natural order of the universe and must be purged from it to be a reborn in the underverse. The underverse is their promised land, believing that unless a person dies in due time, that they will not go to the underverse. They also believe heavily in a philosophy, which philosophy pretty much means teaching that says you keep what you kill, believing that ending another life entitles you to their property and their possession. So yeah, but you see that right there. They believe that that the humans is an antagonist to the natural order of the universe. You know what I'm saying? They believe that they got, in other words, they saying we got all the answers. This is a problem with the universe. We need to do this, and this is gonna help humanity. That's Esau, the so-called white man. He's doing the same thing now. Let's go back to the Isaiah 24. That's exactly what Isaiah 24 says. He's doing that same thing now, man. Same thing now. Because you read Isaiah 24, said Isaiah 24, the earth is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have changed they have transgressed the laws of Yahweh and changed the orders of the broken everlasting covenant. They changed the ways, and that's what the necromongers think. They trying to change the way of life. Nah, this is the way. This is how it's supposed to be. That's Esau. That's what he's doing now. He's changing the way of life. No, it don't need to be man and woman. It could be man on a man. It could be woman on woman. Well, as a matter of fact, if you believe you wasn't supposed to be born a man, you could turn into a transformer into a woman. You could eat pork. It's good for you. You can eat anything you want to eat. As a matter of fact, YOLO, fulfill the lust of the flesh. That's the way to life. Fulfill the lust of the flesh. Then he's coming with this new world order. He's going to crack down and have complete control of everybody. But man, you know what I'm saying? That's the same thing the necromongers are pretty much saying. They're saying like we control, like this is the way to life. And it referred to the underverse being their promised land. There's a land, if a land is promised to you, rule over it. So they saying like we're gonna rule over the next world to come. This is our plan to have everybody do this and do that, because this is the way. This is how life is supposed to be. We got the answers. You know, we got the answers. You know what I'm saying? It just completely shows that's a Esau, Jacob. Necromongers being Esau, Jacob being Riddick. And when you go into that word rid, because I wanted to get it, because now we established the fact of how that's Riddick is representation of the Israelites, which comes from the Pharaohs, and the necromongers are Esau, the so-called white man. Because I want to go into another point. I want to go into another point. Because you got the necromongers, right? But when you go into that word Riddick, and we're not even gonna go into Riddick, we're just gonna go into rid, like the root of it, or per se, the first three letters of it. And then on top of it, let me show you this before we get there. I just want to show you this, because look at this, man. This looks exactly like the necromonger's armor. Look at him, bro. Look at that. That looks, come on. That look just like the necromonger's armor. Like let me look at it. You got the Rome Rome going on here. Rome in Greek. The Greek. Now get a good look at these, man. Look at that. See it, the Rome, the Greek armor. Look at that. I'm finna show y'all the necromongers armors, and you tell me if it's not similar, very similar. Look at that. Remember that, the medieval chain. You tell me that's not similar armor. It's not. I want to click on that. So that don't look similar. Greco-Roman. That looks very similar. Look at that, man. Very similar. Very similar. So now when we get into the word red, but then it's going to get juicy. It's going to get juicy. Yeah, we're going to get into more detail because when we go into the word red, we're going to go into what it means. And then, but like when we go into the necromonger, right? The King Lord Marshal, which we're going to read upon it, he's trying to offset prophecy. And by him trying to offset prophecy, which is prophesied the devil will do that, he's trying to offset prophecy. You know what I'm saying? He's trying to, like Revelation 18 speaks about how he says, how he speaks about how he shall see no sorrow. He's trying to offset prophecy. The devil don't think he's gonna go down. No, he's gonna try to fight Yahweh Bashim says in Revelation 12. He's gonna try to fight the Lord. Now we're going to read. It says, written, clear a space, set free, save. Come on now. Who does that sound like? Who's going to set free and save us? Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai is going to free / save us. He's going to save us from this time to come, and he's going to save us from the oppressor, the devil, this captivity, and him. He's going to save us from him because he's bringing the 200 thermonuclear missile destruction. He's putting it in their mind and hearts to do it. As the scripture speak about how the king's heart is in the Lord's hand, and he tell us whatsoever he want. You know what I'm saying? The free to save. You know, you could we read it more. Then if you go down, it says, meaning be rid of, be freed from something troublesome or useless from the mid 15th century. General sense of to make someone or some place free of someone or something. Come on now. Red. So Yahweh Shai is pretty much the Pharaohs. That's the race of the Israelites, and Riddick is a Pharaoh. He comes from the race of the Israelites, and he is pretty much Yahweh Shai. He simultaneously plays the Israelites, how we discontinue from a knowledge and understanding. You know what I'm saying? And he's coming to in the movie. He finds out he's a Pharaoh and stuff like I don't know what that is though. You know, but you know he's all camel Pharaoh, whatever. And then simultaneously he's Yahweh Shai, because he's gonna be the one that's gonna kill the king. He's going to be the one to stop the necromonger leader, Lord Marshal. And that's in representation of today. That's the top banking family, the top elites, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, and Oppenheimers. The Pharaoh of modern day Egypt. The Lord's going to be the one to kill the Pharaoh of modern day Egypt. We're not going to do it. Now, of course, you know what I'm saying? Of course, through the pastor of Yahweh, we're teaching and pushing forth the word and doing what he tells us. But what did he say? He said, wait until I rise up to the prey. You know what I'm saying? Now, when you go into the Zilal, Zilal, I don't even know if I'm saying his name right. I think it's Zilal, right? I think it's Zillah. I don't know if I'm saying it right. But when you go into Zillah, which is the name of the Lord Marshal, that's his name, Zillah. He's the sixth king. Here go that number 6. He's the sixth king, and that's through his rulership they fell. Now let me read it. So it says Zillah, the last appeared as the main antagonist of the Chronicles of Riddick and was the sixth Lord Marshal of the Necromonger Empire. He adopted their darkest philosophy about the planets unwilling to convert with the infectionated that he believed that the last Lord Marshal, the one who would lead all necromongers through the threshold and into the glory of the Underverse until he was killed at the hands of a figure known as Riddick during the Hellenum Prime campaign. So Z-Law, right? He believed that he was going to be the one to initiate the NWO, the new, New World Order, that one world order. He was gonna, because they was in the process of doing it, but he believed that he was the one that's gonna finalize it, secure it, until he'll stop at the hands of Riddick, the Farian. Yahushai stopped. We just went into red to set free. What does Yahushai name mean? He delivered. Let's pull that right quick. He delivers. Because it's spiritual, because he's going to set free. He's going to set free. Yahushua going to come back and set us free. And in that sense, Riddick has set free the of course, the Farians that was under Lord Marshall's vibration too. Yeah, that's nothing I want to get to, because I want to read it. It's spiritual. It says 30 years ago, the warrior who will become Lord Marshal mounted an attack on the world of Feria, killing all young males he could find, and even struggling some with their own umbilical cords. Come on now. Come on. Come on. Come on. It was the Edomite that was trying to kill Yahushua, man. Edomite trying to kill Yahushua. And it's a reason why they was trying to kill Yahushua, because Yahushua was supposed to be the deliverer of the Israelites. But it says 30 years ago, the warrior who had become Lord Marshal mounted an attack on the world of Fear, killing all young males. Why did he kill all young males? Because they carried a lineage of the Farians, the Israelites. Egypt tried to do that. I mean, Pharaoh tried to do that to Israel. He tried to kill all the firstborn because he was trying to knock off the lineage per se. And it's going back to that. Let me get it. That's going to Psalms 83, man. Psalms 83. And who's at the top of that shit is a fucking necromonger, bro. Damn Edomites. Excuse my French. This is Psalms 83. It says Psalms 83 and 1. A song, or a psalm of Asaph. Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh Bashim Shai. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahweh Bashim Shai. Pretty much asking the Lord, you know what I'm saying, make a move on these devils. It says, for lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones, right? They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. The Israelites, man. Crafty counsel, WE, you know what? The World Economic, you know what? You don't see Jacob there at those councils, it's just Edomites. And what do you think they're taking counsel on? How we could keep these what they call as niggas, but how they could keep the Israelites down and keep them at friction with their power. Right? It says they have said, "Come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of the Lord may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent, they are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Jebel and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre, and it pretty much goes on. Ashur also joined with them, which is Assyria. Pretty much goes on to those nations, those heathen nations, those other nations that joined. They all in the bowl to keep us down and to cut us off as a nation, and is ran by Esau Edom. That's the first one mentioned, the tabernacles of Edom, this fucking speck, the necromonger. And when you read that, because what's so important of cutting off the killing off all the young males of a nation, that destroys the lineage, because the man carries the seed. If you take all the apples and you get rid of all the apple seeds, they could bring forth no more apples. So that kind of fruit will no longer be able to be produced now, because they took all the apple seeds and got rid of it. Who carries the seed? Spermos in the Greek. Sperm. The man. The man carries the sperm. Not the woman. She holds and nourishes the sperm, but the man carries it. And as we're reading, wrong one, Salakia. As we're reading, he was practicing that same thing, showing you how the necromongers represent the Edomites and their plans. Because they've tried this. They've tried this to cut us off as a nation, killing the firstborn. They're trying to come for Yahushua. It says 30 years ago, the warrior who would become Lord of Marshall mounted an attack on the world of Syria. Why? Because he felt like there was a threat to their conquest. That's how they feel. Esau Edom feels like he knows we're a threat. Especially, he knows we're a threat when we're in good graces and we don't have friction with our power. But it says, killing all young males he could find, and even strangling some with their own umbilical cords. He did this because of the prophecy. It was a prophecy. Why did he do this? It's a specific reason why he did this, because it was a prophecy, which means to say before somebody prophesied something unto him. He did it because of a prophecy that declared a Syrian, an Israelite, will later cause his downfall and destroy him. All but a few surviving Syrians perhaps converted to enjoin the necromongers as the necromonger purifier. You see? So he did that because he got a prophecy that a Syrian would be an Israelite, will later cause his downfall and destroy him. So an Israelite will be the end of his reign. He won't be able to establish his rulership, his taking everybody to the underverse, which in this case related to these times, establishing his new world order where everybody's in a one world government, where he has implantable charagmas or sea hips inside of everybody, being as he's being as the Most High and running this world in complete utter wickedness and just promoting more death. But he will come to an end of the Israelite, because who's going to take down this devil? Yahushua. What is Yahushua? He is an Israelite from the loins of David, from the lineage of David. He is an Israelite, and he's going to come and take them down. And let me pull that. But that's why he did it, because of prophecy. And you know what he tried to do? Because what it says is because he did. They said because of the prophecy, he declared. He did that, and why was he trying to do that? Because he was trying to offset prophecy. He was trying to not have it come to pass by him killing off them Syrians, and the leftover Syrians, he Hellenized them. He made them necromongers. Because in the movie, the top general of his army is a Syrian. It's a Syrian, man. He's from the race of the Fearns, but he converted over. He converted over to the necromonger ways. He was Hellenized. He wasn't a necromonger, but he practiced and do the same. That was happening down. Esau is converting everybody to the really the two-thirds of nations. They're already conforming to the image of the beast. But he's going to send out that sea that's going to solidify, do you completely conform to the image of the beast or not? And the image of the beast is the philosophy, the teachings, the ways, that sodomite stuff. Are you agreeable with all these teachings and wickedness and evil that the devil is pushing out? Are you in agreement with that? Are you down with that? And by you taking a sea, that's going to be it. And the image of the beast is the revival of the Roman Empire, the pagan Roman Empire, because and it's really it's the teachings. What do they promote? And the worshiping of gods, idols, sodomy, all this wicked stuff. Are you down for it? That's going to be the sea hip, which we're in those times now. We see the sea hip being played out, but it hasn't been made mandatory, man. We see it. That's how he's going to show if you're down with him or not. And in this movie, it's funny because before you become one of his guards, they put a mark in you, man. They had these little. They put like a little. I think you could see it on here. Let me see. Nah, they put a mark on you. They put like a little thing in your neck, if I'm not mistaken. Sea hip. Salaki if I'm wrong, though. Salaki if I'm wrong, but I think if I'm not mistaken, when I was watching, they put the sea hip in your neck. Yeah, so that's why. And let me pull. Slack in my bag because I just had it in mind. Yeah, he was trying to. But did you see though the Lord Marshall? He's trying to offset prophecy because perhaps he converted them and killing all the young males, strangling them, and because of the prophecy. Yep. It came back to mind. Call all your help. And guess what? We finna pull the scripture. Because this is a prophecy. You got Daniel 7 and 18. That's one. Go read that one. And actually, let me pull it up. Slack, y'all can bear with me. Actually, I'll just go to one of these ones I've already read. Put it in there. Daniel 7 and 18. That's one. Right there. Daniel 7 and 18. I wanted to get the Revelation 19. But we get that one too. Where speaks about Yahushua having many crowns upon his head. That Pharaoh, that Israelite, ended the reign of Lord Marshall, the necromonger, Esau Edom, ended his reign. So he tried to offset the prophecy by killing all the Pharaohs, the Israelites, and the ones that were left over. He converted them over to his military base. They joined him. And do you not see that happening now? He's trying to offset prophecy. They paid top dollar for us to not know this. Was not to understand it, but the Lord still had it happen. The great wickedness still happened. The prophecy still came to pass, and there's another prophecy coming to pass where there's going to be a Pharaoh, Yahushua, an Israelite, is going to come and end his reign and destroy it. Let me get this first, though. This is Daniel 7. Let me see. Daniel 7. What was it at? Daniel 7. I'll see. $18 is it, but I know some other verse in here. Ooh, oh, shit. All right. Some meat, man. It's Daniel 7:18. It says, "But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possesses the kingdom forever, even forever and ever." The saints, the Israelites. In the case of the movie, the Syrians, they're gonna take his kingdom and end his reign, and they're gonna possess his kingdom. Right now, we jump down. I beheld the same horn made war with the saints. That horn being to the 10 horns, which is the head, and three fell. Even the horn that had eyes and mouth spake as great things. Babylon the Great, man. That's that that's that last ruling kingdom. Babylon the Great made war with the saints and prevailed against it. It's like, yes, and behold, the same horn made war with the saints and prevailed against them until the Ancient of Days came, and judgment was given into the saints of the Most High. And the time came that the saints possessed the kingdom, which has happened. Which is finna happen, man. We're in that topic where we finna possess the kingdom, right? But there's really one on here. So I think it's more further down. Verse 27. 7:27 says, "And the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him." That's what's going to happen. But I know it's when it says Yahweh Shah, Salakia, Salakia, Salakia. Who is it? Yeah, you go ahead. That's Salakia. I had to do something real quick. But where were we at? Where was we at? Yeah, right here. It says Daniel 7:14, because it's speaking about the Son of Man. We just start up. It says, "I saw in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven, the chariots, the one like the Son of Man, Yahweh Shai, and came to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him. And there was given him dominion and glory, a kingdom that all people, nation, languages shall serve him." Makes me think about Isaiah too, man. His dominion is an everlasting dominion which shall not pass away, and his kingdom that shall not, that which it's like in his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed. And when you read the necromonger, the Zelai, whatever you call it, whatever his name is, Lord Marshall, he was trying to offset this prophecy. And what is Esau trying to do? He's trying to offset this very same prophecy of Yahweh coming back and establishing his righteous rulership. He's trying to offset this prophecy. And how did he try to offset this prophecy? The necromonger in the movie, by trying to kill off all the Israelites. And the ones that were left over, he tried to convert them over. That same thing now. How did they try to kill off the Israelites? By stripping us of our wisdom and by stripping us of our heritage. He stripped us of our heritage and taught us his philosophies and his teachings, and he Hellenized us. He tried to strip because in the time of Pharaoh, he did do that. He did try to kill off the firstborn of Israel. You know what I'm saying? You know, that was the Hamites. But we talking about the modern day Pharaoh is being done through the fact of him stripping us of our understanding, and by him stripping us of our understanding and putting straight wickedness on all sides of the corner and telling us to fear the lust of the flesh, is making our relationship with Yahweh Bashma Shai at friction. So we're not in good graces with our power. And if we're not in good graces with our power, what does that mean? Yahweh ain't gonna save us. He ain't gonna help us because we're not in good graces with our power, man. We're not in good graces with our power. And to prove that causes that we're not, to prove that's part of his plan. Let me get Psalms 2. Actually, I want to get it in the NLT. I want to get in the NLT, actually. Where's the NLT at? There we go. I want to get in the NLT. In the NLT, it says, Psalms 2:1. Why are the nations so angry? Why do they waste their time with futile plans? The kings of the earth prepare for battle, and the rulers plot together against the Lord and against his anointed one. Let us break their chains. Let us break their chains. They cry and free ourselves from the slavery of Yahweh B'Hashem Shai. And how they're gonna do that? That's their plan. That's their plan. But they trying to what? They putting all this wickedness. You know what I'm saying? Putting all this promote the lust of the flesh upon the nation of Israel, because we going to be the ones that the Lord used to beat these nations to smithereens. And Esau was like, if I could keep y'all relationship friction and eventually cut you off, because what it's saying Genesis, the day should come where I should slew my brother Jacob. Esau wants to annihilate us and get rid of us. He just can't because the Lord controls that. But he wants to get rid of us. He wants to eradicate us, man. He wants to get rid of us. So it could free him from the fact that we could rise up and become kings. It could rise up and become the kings of the earth, and in his reign and in his plans. What it said, David said, arise and disappoint, roughly paraphrasing, arise and disappoint the plans of the wicked. That's what Yahweh B'Shem is going to do. He's going to disappoint the plans of the wicked. And we see it happening now. He's sending plagues, he's sending all these things upon Babylon the Great. And whether Esau is doing it himself by the left hand vibration of Yahweh B'Shem Shai, bottom line is destroying his infrastructure and his kingdom or his queendom that he has built up to usher in his new world order. But Yahweh Shai and going back to the movie, which is Riddick, is going to be the one to end his reign and take his throne. Now, let me get this Revelations. Let me get this Revelation. I think it's in the 20 verse. Nah, let's go up. Right here. It's in Revelation 19:11. It says, and I saw heaven opened, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon it was called Faithful and True, is Yahweh Shai, and white horse representation of purity. And it says, in the righteousness he doeth judge and make war. Revelation 12 speaks about how the devil made war, his angels made war with Michael and his angels, and the devil prevailed not. Well, guess what? Michael is coming with Yahweh Shah to wage war upon Babylon the Great and to take the dominion, the rulership, and the end to destroy the reign of the Edomites. And relaying that back to the movie, Riddick, the Chronicles of Riddick. Riddick, what he did was he destroyed and ended the reign of the necromongers by fighting the Lord Marshal, going to war, fighting Lord Marshal, and killing him. And you know what they believe? They say if you kill, they motto is if you kill him, you take all his possessions. So when Riddick did it, he killed him and took his possessions and became the new ruler. And now the new plans will be what he wants. In representation of the Israelites. Riddick being in representation of the Israelites. You know what I'm saying? And Yahweh Shai he's going to come, kill, and take his dominion. Yahweh Shai simultaneously, and Riddick simultaneously being Yahweh Shai in representation of the Israelites. But it says, keep reading, it says his eyes were a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns. And he had a name written that no man knew but he himself. Name meaning his rank. His rank. Yahweh Shai is Lord over all creation. He's Lord of every creation. All the creation is subjected unto him. And was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name is called the Word of God, Yahweh Bashim Shai. And that's pretty much the point right there, that he had many crowns on his head. Where do you think those many crowns came from? Those many kings being under the umbrella of one king being Esau, the so-called white man, because Job 90:24 speaks about the earth is given to the hands of the wicked. Yahweh Shai is coming to take their dominion. He's taking the big crown. He's taking all the other little crowns. Salakia. Hey. Hold on. Salakia. Salakia. So where I was at? Throwing me off these, keep just coming in, demons. Man. What they just asked them, but demons, man. So yeah. Yahweh Shai is coming to do that, and that was his fear, and he tried to offset the prophecy. You see Esau try to offset the prophecy now by being the main one that causes to discontinue from our heritage and try to put all this wickedness and pump drugs and set up leaders that are pushing for his vibration, so we could be at frustration with Yahweh Bashim Shai. But the Lord said he has selected 7,000 that won't bow down to the image of Baal. So Lord already had a remnant that's going to come back to the obedience of the scriptures, serve Yahweh Bashim Shai. Yahweh Shai is going to come back, establish his righteous rulership by ending the rulership that is already being pushed forth and stopping the plans of the wicked man. So yeah, Lord willing, this is edifying to the parent spirit of Yahweh Bashim Shai and feed you lemon sheets of Yahweh Bashim Shai. You know, titling this video, the spirituality of Riddick. It really just, just going through the spirit, just pretty much connecting the dots and showing the parallels with the movie and the things happening in the movie, paralleling it to what's happening and what's coming to pass. You know what I'm saying? So Lord willing, this is edifying to the power spirit of Yahweh Bashim Shai. Feed you lemon sheets of Yahweh Bashim Shai. And I want to give double honor to the apostles of the elders, great millstone, and to you, Akim. I want to say shalom.